Sword Mania, Floating Dream. Chapter 1, The Beginning of the Killing. In the vast world of rivers and lakes, a young swordsman named Cracked Cloud is buried in the dark tide. The story begins with an extremely unorthodox start. Split Cloud is assassinated in an unnamed battle, and his fate is uncertain. People in the rivers and lakes say that he is an out-and-out wastewood and is vulnerable. However, just as everyone laughed at his powerlessness, Split Cloud's soul was reborn in the Atlas, possessed by a broken sword. This broken sword is the fragment of the purple and green sword that can determine the fate of the world in the legends of the rivers and lakes. And his story really began. Chapter 2, The Secret of Hizbai. On the other side, in the prosperous era of the Tang dynasty of the Celestial Empire, Lu Ling, a young and alert collector and martial artist, accidentally grabbed a strange stone called Hizbai at an auction. There is a mysterious power hidden in Hizbai, which can subvert the situation of the government and the opposition. Lu Ling is humble and polite on the outside, respects the old and loves the young, but no one knows that there is a raging fire hidden in his heart. Some people call him the shadow of the Tang dynasty, secretly controlling many grievances in the rivers and lakes. When he stepped into the rivers and lakes with Hizbai, countless forces began to eye. Even Naimoan, a secret agent in the capital, was involved in this deceitful chess game. Chapter 3, Tree Demons and Spirits. In a hidden forest in the east, the Dryad Overlord Blackblade is brewing a dark storm. He is hostile to humans and plans to completely seal off the aura of the forest. The ghost Niswayan was originally a woman in the world, but her soul was reborn because of the rescue of the soul of the Split Cloud. Together with the broken cloud sword, she defeated countless dryads. In an accident, she was shocked to witness the protagonist Lu Ling blast the Dryad Overlord with a punch. What kind of power is this? She asked in her mind. Chapter 4, The Mystery of the Purple Treasure Sword. In order to test the power of the broken sword, Lu Ling intended to combine the broken sword with the legendary purple and green sword, but accidentally pulled the sword body off. This sudden accident triggered the ancient spell sealed in the sword. The entire river and lake is in chaos, and the shadow organization Frenzy takes advantage of the void, planning to use the spell to spread the power of the shadows and control the world. Awakened from the broken sword, the broken cloud spirit vows revenge and stops the tide's plots. And Lu Ling, Naimoan, and Niswayan formed a subtle alliance, and a life and death battle was about to break out. Chapter 5, The Rivers and Lakes Are Flipped. In the darkness of the night, Split Cloud's broken sword suddenly glowed blue-white, guiding him to find a mysterious master who had been missing for many years, the wind and dust guest Wu Wu. Wuxian has the only key to break the spell, but he has been trapped in seclusion for many years. The trio embark on a journey to find Wuji, encountering countless strange people along the way, ranging from the shapeless sphinx to the strange mage who can control time. The duster reveals the truth: the frenzy is not a single force, but a collective body intertwined by several dimensions, and each outbreak of the spell will affect the balance of multiple worlds. Chapter 6, Multidimensional Interweaving. Split Cloud, Lu Ling, Naimoan, and Niswayan shuttle through multiple parallel worlds under the leadership of Wu Chuang. Each world has its own unique rules, some of which are decided by poetry, while others use music as a weapon. Not only do they have to face a frenzy of hunting, but they also have to solve the mystery of their identity. Split Cloud discovers that the power of his broken sword comes from the curse of an ancient family, and Lu Ling and Naimoan have an inseparable blood relationship. In this journey full of flipped turns, friendship, betrayal, love and hate are intertwined, and the pace of the story suddenly accelerates. Chapter 7, The End of Destiny. The final battle unfolds in a mysterious castle floating in the air. The leader of the frenzy reveals his true colors. He is actually the old enemy of Split Cloud in his previous life, and he has peerless magical skills. In the mirror-like duel, Split Cloud relied on the broken sword and his own awakened soul power to refuse the broken purple and green sword and break the curse. Lu Ling and Naimoan used his true power to seal the frenzy forces, while Niswayan used ghostly magic to protect the balance of the rivers and lakes. Chapter 8, The Abyss of Mist. After the guidance of Wu Yan, Split Cloud, Lu Ling, Naimoan, and Niswayan came to the legendary forbidden place of the rivers and lakes, the Misty Abyss. Surrounded by a thick fog, time seems to stand still, and space distorts like a shattered mirror, making you lose your way as soon as you step inside. The four of them have a heavy task to find the legendary reversal pearl in the abyss, which can dissolve the power of multidimensional intertwining. This bead is an artifact left behind by ancient gods and can condense the chaos of multiple worlds into a single track. In the fog, the four of them split up. Split Cloud relied on the broken sword to sense, Lu Ling used the brilliance of his spy to illuminate the way forward, Naimoan used his body to dodge the shadow trap, and Niswayan used ghost magic to detect danger. But the danger lurking in the abyss is far more than they expected. They have encountered an ancient being named Snail, who is both the guardian of the abyss and the eye of the frenzied forces in this realm. The snail can indulge in the mist, turn into 1,000 faces to confuse the senses of the four people, and can swallow the deepest fear in their hearts. The four must work together to overcome each other's demons in order to move on. In a vision, Fractured Cloud sees a fragment of his own failures in the past. The night of the assassination hides a larger conspiracy. Lu Ling saw the past of being betrayed in her childhood, and Naimoan and Niswayan also faced the deepest fears and secrets in their hearts. Chapter 9, The Mirror Image of the Demons. In the deepest part of the abyss, four people gather to face the final test, the mirror image of the inner demon. The Wraith summons their phantoms, which follow them, revealing all their secrets and weaknesses. The phantom of the Split Cloud is the former self, weak and helpless but unable to change fate. Lu Ling's phantom is the self betrayed by those close to her in the past, full of pain and anger. Naimohan's phantom exposes the dark side of his morality that he has to sacrifice in order to protect his loved ones. Niswayan's phantom is her loneliness and helplessness before she died. Faced with these painful memories and fears, the four of them fell into despair for a while. But in the firm voice of the Split Cloud, they began to support each other and rediscover themselves. Fractured Cloud clenched the broken sword and said, "True strength is not to run away from the past, but to acknowledge it, accept it, and transcend it." The illusion of their hearts gradually dissipated, and the orb of reversal finally appeared, emitting a dazzling light that turned all the chaos in the misty abyss into order. Chapter 10, The End of the Tide. The four wielding the orb of reversal returned to reality for the final showdown with the boss of the tide. The leader of the frenzy uses the chaotic power of multidimensional chaos to transform into a giant dark demon god, and the power is like a bamboo. Split Cloud turned his broken sword into a blade of light, unleashing a striking blow and confronting the demon god. Lu Ling used the mysterious energy of his spy to block some of the demon god's attacks, and Naimoan and Niswayan worked together to launch a combined attack technique to weaken the enemy's defenses. The climax of the battle is repeated, light and darkness are intertwined, time and space are constantly reversed. Just when the demon god seemed to have the upper hand, the power of the reversal jewel fully awakened, splitting the demon god's body and power in two, turning it into nothingness. The frenzy collapsed, and peace was restored to the rivers and lakes once again. Chapter 11, A New Legend. After the battle, Split Cloud reorganizes his body and mind and decides to reforge the broken sword into a new purple and green sword, symbolizing the power of rebirth after being broken. Lu Ling lived in seclusion and continued to study the secrets of his spy. Naimoan and Niswayan continued to act chivalrous in the rivers and lakes, protecting the weak and guarding peace. Their stories have become new legends in the rivers and lakes, sung by future generations, and will forever inspire future swordsmen and warriors. Chapter 12, Rising Again. Although the frenzy was defeated, the turmoil did not subside. The newly born purple and blue sword, although powerful, concealed a glimmer of vision where it was broken, faintly revealing a deep dark aura. One day, while cultivating in the mountains, Split Cloud suddenly encountered a messenger from another dimension, Yeluan. Dressed in a feather cloak made of moonlight, her voice is faint, revealing a shocking secret: the balance of the multidimensional world has not yet been fully restored, and darkness is looming. Yeluan informs that there is a countercurrent force that can corrode dimensional boundaries, causing multiple worlds to intersect and cause disaster once again. Split Cloud decides to accept Yeluan's guidance and embarks on a journey to find the root of the countercurrent with the purple-blue sword and his old friends. underscore 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 un. Chapter 13, Floating Dreams. While traversing a dream forest forgotten by time, everyone encounters a fantasy trial. Here, the deepest desires and fears of each human being are concretized. Lu Ling faced the images of her loved ones she had lost when she was young, crying bitterly but also being released. Naimoan saw in the illusion that he might fall into the dark shadow of the future, and was determined to rewrite his fate. Niswayan and Yeluan support each other, and each other's existence has become the key to the other party's breakthrough. Split Cloud converses with the soul of his broken sword in the illusion, and understands that only by accepting the flaws in the fracture can he exert his power to the extreme. Eventually, they break the shackles of illusion and get closer to the source of the countercurrent. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 14, The Source of the Countercurrent. The source of the countercurrent is an ancient city floating in the void, streaming cinema city where time and space are as fragile as quicksand. Guarding the countercurrent is a forgotten ancient god, Shadow Impermanence. He was once the defender of the multidimensional order, and he was resentful of being abandoned for a long time, and wanted to reshape the cosmic order with the power of countercurrents. Fractured Cloud and his companions engage in fierce conversations and battles with Shadow Impermanence. Lu Ling uses the power of the Harmony clan to communicate with the ancient gods, trying to regain his sanity. Naimoan and Niswayan joined forces to resist the invasion of the countercurrent illusion. In the end, Split Cloud used the purple and green sword to break through the barrier of the source of the countercurrent, and the ancient god Impermanence was sealed, and the flowing shadow city began to gradually dissipate into the endless void. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 15, Reshaping the Rivers and Lakes. After returning to reality, the rivers and lakes have undergone great changes due to countercurrent events. Many martial arts schools began to merge, and the power of light and shadow was reshuffled, bringing new vitality. Split Cloud decided to found Floating Gate to teach younger generations with an inclusive spirit. Lu Ling and Naimoan are responsible for guarding the Heshi Bai and the Order of the Rivers and Lakes, while Niswayan and Yeluan have become the mysterious watchmen of the rivers and lakes. Their friendship and bond have also been sublimated in this experience. Underscore 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 un. Ending, no regrets. Many years later, Split Cloud stood in front of the Fusion Gate, holding a recast purple and green sword, looking at the green mountains and green waters, and smiled indifferently. The sword is flawed, but there are no regrets. The rivers and lakes are far away, and the dream is not young. The rivers and lakes are no longer just fighting and killing, but also endless floating dreams. Underscore 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 un. Postscript. Broken Sword Mania, floating drama dream uses the image of rupture and rebirth to depict the ever-changing rivers and lakes in people's hearts. The story blends fantasy, multidimensional worlds, and deep humanity to make the fate of each character gripping. Split Cloud, Lu Ling, Naimoan, Niswayan, and Yeluan, their stories are like a mirror, reflecting the light and darkness in our hearts. This work is not only a legend of a swordsman, but also a floating dream of courage, friendship, and growth. I hope that every reader can find their own shadow in this story, dance with the broken sword, and smile proudly.